Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome to a new series, Retro Magazines. Now in this series I'm going to look through various role-playing magazines of the 80s and 90s at the fantastic selection of adventures and articles that were available in them. The fantastic support for many role-playing games, including tons which are now long out of print. So very much on theme for this channel. Now this isn't going to totally replace my other Friday series, my rules breakdowns, my house rules videos, and even the Satanic Panic videos. These series will continue, but this is going to be the filler-in one while I'm working on those episodes which tend to take a bit longer to do. So these will be very similar to the Retro RPG videos where I look down on the magazine and I skim through it. But in addition to that, for Patreons, I'll be putting some of these articles up for use to scan ahead of time. So you can join in the conversation as the videos go live on the channel and make comments as to what you thought of the adventures, what you thought of the articles, some by the publishers of the games themselves. These magazines really were fantastically supported. Now, for this first episode, I'm going to look at White Wolf magazine number 36. Because it's been talked about quite a bit in comments for some of my other videos. Because I covered the Knight's Edge sourcebook for Cyberpunk, which took vampires into the world of Cyberpunk 2020. And I covered the Interface magazine, which merged Call of Cthulhu with Cyberpunk 2020. Well, White Wolf magazine split over this and the next two issues, which I'll cover in the following weeks, created their own version of a crossover between the World of Darkness and Cyberpunk. But instead of adding vampires to Cyberpunk, it was adding the world of Cyberpunk to vampire and cybernetics and the like. But anyway, let's have a look through White Wolf magazine issue 36. So, this is White Wolf magazine number 36, which came out from White Wolf Studios in June 1993. Now, even though it claims 6 years of independent role-playing coverage, this is by White Wolf Studios, so is heavily based around their World of Darkness and other role-playing games they published, but does support a lot of other games. So, in this issue, we've got the World of Future Darkness. As I said before, it's a crossover between the World of Darkness and Cyberpunk 2020. We've got Shadowrun, we've got People of the Land, we've got PBM Corner, we've got Capsule Reviews. There's an adventure in here for Millennium's End, which is a favourite game of mine. Just so much support for different games, which magazines of this time were heavily about. Even White Dwarf magazine, in its early issues, first 100 or so, did support non-Games Workshop games, provided a lot of support for many other role-playing games. But this really does support the entire role-playing industry, even though it is heavily White Wolf based. Now at this stage, White Wolf magazine was bi-monthly, so out every 2 months. Although later on it did change to a monthly magazine. In fact, I think it was just a few issues after this. Now, one of the remarkable things about this one was a massive advert they gave you for the Underground role-playing game. They gave you this handout newspaper. So it's for the Underground role-playing game due out that summer. But this is kind of introducing you to the world. So there's various news articles. Flyby killings rock Los Angeles. No easy answers to gang problems, says Mayor. LA homicide rate total sets new world record. Foster tough on Neo-Deutsch. Avant garbage verdict announced. Congress to review cut in Homo Superior demobilization bonuses. Got nationwide news. City desk. Slumberland reopens on schedule. Slumberland and Menace await members' planned protest. We've got adverts for different projects, so estrogen here. Made from natural hormonal flavours. Carrying on through. Down and out on the mean streets. Life among LA's boosted homeless. Media, truth or travesty. Got fun, so we've got talks about sort of bands and entertainment. On the next page, we've even got a little cartoon. Again, more adverts, the VidNet tonight, sports, and on the back page, we've got Moneyline, so talk about stocks and shares in the world of Underground. A really nice little introduction to the game. I'll put it underneath. But actually in the magazine inside, we've got a large advert here for The Last Alliance. So, the Middle-earth role-playing miniatures. We've got a table of contents. An introduction, Runes by Stewart Wieck, talking about the advantages of live-action role-playing, because that's one of the focuses of this issue. Got letters pages. An advert for The Earth Bestiary for Gary Gygax's Dangerous Journeys, coming 1993. An advert there for Millennium's End. If you haven't played Millennium's End, you haven't played anything like it. Got PBM Corner, an introduction to play-by-mail games. You know, winning as a beginner, is it worth it? And then we've got a play-by-mail review, Darkness of Silverfall. Got a lovely Shadowrun article here, The Shadowrunner's Guide to Enchanted Objects by Clint Black, which is various enchanted items which give you bonuses. So we've got the Wings of Warning here. +3 air elemental spirit focus, +3 personal combat spell sense spell focus, and a spell lock. Karma to bond 10, New Yen cost to buy, and it's got rules here if you're going to use it in GURPS. A cigarette lighter here, which acts as a spell focus for firebolt and fire blast spells. Different weapons here, Soikaf conjuring drum, ancient sword of the elves. Fantastically interesting stuff. And we've got the World of Future Darkness here by Deirdre Brooks. Now this is approaching combining Cyberpunk 2020 with the World of Darkness, but from the other side of it. So instead of adding vampires to Cyberpunk, this adds cyberware to and the world of Cyberpunk 2020 to the World of Darkness. So we've got things here, the Masquerade in 2020, Vampiric Society in 2020, talking through different clans. The Assamites, they're more business now than they have had in centuries. Many possess contacts with the megacorps. This is their major source of monetary income. Other groups, so it talks through magi, mummies, spirits, werewolves, vampire hunters. We've got a new clan of vampires here, the Cyberpunks, with their ability, the Technica. Talks through cyberware, so what advantages it gives to people, plus the fact that recently turned vampires will be humans who had cyberware. So what happens with that? But there's also rules for vampires in existence getting cybernetics added. So we've got Cyberware and Disciplines, how these cybernetics interact with various disciplines and abilities of vampires. We've got the cyberware list, so different processes, increasing your reaction work like celerity and dexterity boosts. Tactile, -3 on target numbers relating to touch. Memory chips, as above for all knowledges, which lowers target numbers. Adrenal boosters, gang jazzlers, bioware, cyber weapons. Going through all the cybernetics from Cyberpunk 2020 and giving you the advantages that it will have in the World of Darkness rule system. A nice big advert for Shatterzone there. Space is big, life is hard, the universe isn't just a game. West End Games. An article here, The Silicon Dungeon, talking about the X-Wing game. X-Wing Space Combat Simulator. Absolutely fabulous game, one I spent many hours playing back in the day. We've also got Capsule Reviews for Magic Candle 3, Ultimate Underworld 2, The Labyrinth of Worlds, Star Control 2, another fantastic game which I played a lot of, Star Legions, Eric the Unready, King's Quest 6, Air Today, Gone Tomorrow, and then the ratings for them. An advert for Cult. Friend or Foe Identification, an adventure for Millennium's End by Charles Ryan. Well, Charles Ryan's the guy who wrote Millennium's End. So it's a fantastic adventure, as so many of the Millennium's End ones were. Go through, you've got stats there, we've got maps, a very nice little adventure with a number of detailed environments. We've got an advert for King Arthur Pendragon. A different dwarf, people of the land. So it's talking about dwarves, or a different type of dwarves, giving you their religion and magic, how to combine them into Ars Magica. story ideas. Feature review for Shadowrun. So a review based on a pre-publication version of Shadowrun, little more than a stack of loose leaf paper. There's no illustrations, crudely formatted, and parts are missing. So a very early review. So we've got them giving it 3 out of 5, so not a great review, 4 out of 5, where they quite like it because it's a science fiction game. Got an artist spotlight on David O. Miller. Some very nice artwork from him there. I really quite like this, which is almost sort of steampunk. Is it Space 1889 with the flying ship? Captain Reginald's Buried Treasure. So a pirate LARPing adventure. Dealing with the various parts of it, the evidence that you can find. Very nice stuff and very different. Never really been into LARPing, but it's really cool to have an adventure to look through and see how it works. An advert for Battlelords of the 23rd Century, which I've covered on the channel before. Then we've got Capsule Reviews. So lots and lots of reviews. Considering this was out every 2 months, the amount of reviews for things which have come out and they've looked at just in 2 months is incredible. So we've got the Celts campaign source book for D&D, or AD&D, the Magic Encyclopedia, Monster Mythology. For Al-Qadim, we've got Golden Voyages box set. For Dark Sun, we've got Asticlan Gambit and the Veiled Alliance. For the Forgotten Realms, we've got Golden Glory, The Great Glacier, Volo's Guide to Waterdeep. For Ravenloft, we've got Forbidden Lore, Islands of Terror, Von Richten's Guide to Ghosts. For Champions, we've got High-Tech Enemies. For DC Heroes, we've got the $29.95 Legion of Superheroes sourcebook, the DC Heroes Magic sourcebook. We've got Diplomacy Deluxe Edition. For Gamma World, we've got the complete 4th edition game, plus Mutant Master. GURPS Espionage. For the Heroes system, we've got the Hero Bestiary. For Lost Souls, we've got the 2nd edition of it. Bram Stoker's Dracula, we're reviewing the miniatures. A Gargantuan Gold Dragon, a review of the Wolf Guard for Warhammer 40k. Outpost, a science fiction card game. The Primal Order, Pawn's opening move. And we've got role aids, so these aren't specifically for one role-playing game, although they do help. So we've got Mayfair Games Demons, which incorporate demons into Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Denizens of Vekaron, which is very similar to Role Aids Demons, a spin-off of it by Mayfair Games. Portal to Adventure, People, Places and Things, also by Mayfair Games. And then we've got board games Tyranid Attack, and for Warhammer, we've got Warhammer Battle Magic. We've got a page here, 20 games lists, March 1993. The Complete Book of Gnomes and Halflings, The Ruins of Mithranor, The Paranormal Animals of Europe for Shadowrun, White Wolf, Ways of the Wolf, Avengers Archives, Dragon Crown, and the Player's Handbook, and so on. Number 31, we've got the Star Wars role-playing game from West End Games. And in the back, we've got an advert for Talisman Dragons. And we've got On the Horizons, what's in it? Second part of World of Future Darkness. Earthdawn, Underground, Masquerade from White Wolf we featured. Amazing Engine, Ars Magica, Over the Edge, Traveller the New Era. Mage of the Ascension just being released. Our first White Wolf story for Pendragon, The Treasure of Galilee. And our coverage of other games continues, with computer games with Second Silicon Dungeon in expanded format. PBM coverage, a review of Blood Pit, a gladiatorial combat game. And they actually give you an index for where adverts are. So we've got Crunchy Frog Enterprises advertising in there, White Wolf covering it. And on the very back page, we've got a very gloriously painted advert for Earthdawn. To learn more about Earthdawn, watch out for our free flyers coming this spring and summer to game and hobby stores. 3 flyer installments together will give you your first adventure. I'm afraid I never managed to pick those up. But that is White Wolf Magazine 36. As I said, I'll be sharing some of the articles with Patreons, so if you'd like to join that and have a look and join in the conversation about this fabulous magazine, please have a look at the Patreon link down below. Now, as usual, I've whittled on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching. But most of all, as always, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.